Yo, what is going on, guys? Jared here, and the past couple weeks I have been going to my local tournaments, and I have been doing well with a very unique rogue deck that I wanted to show off on the channel. Now that I actually have some time, we also had the remote duel invitational tournament, which I top aided, but I lost in top eight unfortunately. With this deck, and as you can see, it was Burning Abyss that I have sitting right here. I feel like this is something that can definitely compete in the current meta with how it has pretty much shaping up with Tri Brigade and Prank Kids now winning the YCS and everything. So I just wanted to show you guys what I've been playing. I've also gotten to high rated dueling book, which is like top 200 into the ranking ladder on there. Now I'm just playing other rogue strategies. If you want to come and watch me play anytime, my name is Obama Trio with a space in between on dueling book, and I'm gonna hopefully start streaming again on dueling book. Because like I said, I'm still top 200, so all the games are real. It's mostly meta every time, and I'm usually not playing meta. I'm playing something completely rogue. Um, but yeah, I want to get to the deck profile, and before I do, I also just wanted to say I have been seeing the comments for the Sky Striker lists. Um, as much as I want to make a Sky Striker video, I actually have a Sky Striker deck built right here in this box, but the I don't want to put anything on the channel that I'm not like proud of or that I think is worth showing. I think Sky Striker at the current time for like competitive play is very like bland, and there's like a million lists for the deck itself. So I honestly I would just recommend just going to like anyone else's channel who's done like a million Sky Striker list. I don't think currently the way it is. I could probably like put some tech choices in, but other than that, I'm not gonna go into that for now at least. But it is built if I want to do a deck profile, but I'm just not confident enough in it currently at least. But yeah, let's just get into the Burning Abyss deck that I've been playing and been really enjoying. I think it's really fun, and I think you guys would enjoy it too. So obviously we got to start with the actual Burning Abyss monsters. We play 3 copies of Graph, 2 copies of Skarm, and 3 copies of Seer, 3 copies of Farfa, and 1 Calcab and 1 Barbar. As you can see, I play a very heavy Burning Abyss lineup. This is not like that PK BS. This is pure. This is like when it came out. This is what it was in 2015. This is the original BA that I fell in love with back in the day. So yeah, any unique choices here? I would say I do not play Libic just because drawing a bunch of BAs in hand is not the best. You cannot do a lot with them still. It doesn't equal more interruptions. So I've tried to keep it as limited as possible and keep the only mandatory ones in. This is mandatory for a card I play. This is mandatory for a specific OTK setup to be able to OTK your opponent. Let me put this down a little bit so you can see them all. But yeah, 3 Farfa because you need to be able to last. Like all the 3 ofs, like you just need them throughout the whole game or you want to see them. And I just 2 Skarm because Skarm's it's slow now. Skarm's a really slow card. You only need to resolve this probably once, and then once you resolve it once, you're probably winning. If it resolves fully a second time and you can summon a second tour guide, you definitely should have won by now. But yeah, that's it for the Burning Abyss lineup themselves. I'm trying to think if there's any other ones I like. Alec I cut because he just doesn't come up enough right now. Yeah, I can't think of any other ones right now. I'm not gonna play the one that sends a spell or trap or anything like that. For non-BA, it's 2 Rhino Warrior and 3 Tour Guide. I was thinking about switching this to 3 Rhino Warrior into 2 Tour Guide just because you get like some hands you draw kind of awkward where it's like you have Tour Guide in hand and then you have like maybe a couple BAs and you have to decide where you want to summon Tour Guide and risk it and like just get hit by something. Like ideally Ash, that's what normally is Ash Blossom. And you're just kind of stuck, or the extra Rhino Warrior. I like the Rhino Warrior better because it plays around Ash Blossom. So at least like the most popular hand trap doesn't hit like Rhino plus any BA, but it'll hit the Rhino and Grave. But at least you have the opportunity to get to Dante, which is the important part. You need to be able to get to Dante. So if you can't get to Dante in general, then it's just kind of the deck kind of falls apart. But yeah, obviously these cards are just insane. They're all your starters. I feel like I started with negatives these cards, but these cards are obviously just broken. If they resolve, like you can just get to play the game for free. Essentially, like, there's so much value in everything that you're doing. For the only monster hand trap I play is just 3 Ash Blossom. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. I don't think anything is completely insane where it justifies playing like a 15 hand trap deck like the current striker builds are playing. It's just not for me. I don't like it. I think it's very how can I word it? Not fun. I'm playing different forms of interruption, and this is a going first deck. For spells, I only play four. I play two copies of Pot of Prosperity, one copy of Call by the Grave, and one Foolish Burial. This is pretty like these are all pretty self-explanatory. I was going through different consistency cards. I played Allure, I played Desires a little bit, I played Upstarts, I played this. There's like a million different cards you can play to try to make this deck as consistent as possible. But Prosperity felt the best, I would say. Being able to pick the card that you need in that specific situation. So if you say like if you do your full combo play with BA and then you need to get like another form of interruption, you can Prosperity for the interruption rather than risk it with like an Allure or something like that. So it definitely comes up, I would say, better. Every time I've used it just felt better than everything else, like more consistently. That's probably the best way I can word it through all testing. And I've played a lot of Burning Abyss these past couple weeks. Past 3 weeks, I've played definitely a lot. And then going on the traps. So obviously this is a trap deck, seeing how thick this stack is. I tried a trap trick variant. This is what I've been using, the most consistent. I think after this I'm going to change it. But for what I've been playing has been two trap trick, two Dynamiscus, two Imperm, which is also the other hand trap that I'm playing, two Fiend Griefing. So this will be the trap trick package. And then I also play three Solemn Strike, three Anti-Spell Fragrance, and one Imperial Order. So this package is very good. I'm not gonna hate on it too much. The only card that I really don't like is this card. It's just not impactful enough as a form of interruption because you have a million ways to send Farfa, and you don't really want this used as a starter. Like if this is being used as a starter, you're probably just losing anyway. And this interruption isn't good enough. These should be, in the most ideal world, Ice Dragon's Prisons. I think that's probably the best replacement for a card like this currently. So I would just keep that in mind if you were to try this deck out. Or you can switch other stuff around. If you want to switch out the Trap Trick build, put a third Dynamiscus in, and like three Ice Dragon's Prison or a third Imperm. You could always do stuff like that too. Solemn Strike, I just think is an insane card right now. I think it's just like every matchup is just really good. I don't even think there's an argument to not play this card right now in any form of going first deck. It's just so good. And then so this originally was order 3 Solemn Judgment, and I was citing these, and then I was talking to my brother, this guy over here, and he was telling me that it seems like you're just losing to like really overpowered spell cards. And Judgment can only hit one. And if there was like more than one, you were just screwed every time. You can't do anything about it. So he's like, why don't you just replace the anti-spells, or the Judgments with the anti-spells and see how it works. And as soon as I did it, it was like an immediate difference. It was night and day. Just playing these cards just does so much. It puts them on a counter and it eliminates any kind of BS power card, whether it be like a draw 2 off Desires, whether it be getting the Fractal off Tenki. Like, just so many cards, like the whole Sky Striker deck, obviously. There's so many strong spell cards and pot cards and consistency cards that are being played right now. It's just really good, and this is also the reason why you play the Calcab. You can as they're setting to try to play through anti-spell, you can keep bouncing back their spell and traps to their hand, so that they just can never play their actual spell cards. This is old interaction from 2015, I would say, but it's still relevant and never was bad. It was just that the card just got better over time. So that's it for the main deck. Just a nice even 40. Nothing else. No more, no less. For the extra deck, we are playing, thank God, 3 Dante again. I hated that 1 Dante, 2 Dante BS Link deck that we had for a little bit. But 3 Dante. This whole deck is based on Dante. This if you don't make Dante, you're just losing. That's how I see it. And we played 1 Beatrice. This is self-explanatory. We played, let me move these out of the way, 2 Downer Magician and 2 Zeus. I think this is one of the best inclusions that Burning Abyss could have asked for, because the problem with BA for the longest time was that the deck didn't have a win condition. Like it really didn't. There wasn't a lot of ways you could just end the game or put up enough interruptions or disruptions or ways to clear boards. Like it was just very lackluster compared to a lot of their decks. But Konami has been generous enough to print us very generic Exceed support and some good generic Link support to be able that work very well with BA that we can use as win conditions to end the game quickly and efficiently and lock people out of the game or clear their board. And Zeus just happens to fit that bill very, very well. And yeah, Downer Magician is just for the extra material. It comes up a lot, I would say, where a lot of times you don't detach off Dante and then you just slam into something in defense, put Downer on it, and then put Zeus on top. You detach one of like the BAs you special. That's usually a bad one, plus the Downer to clear the board, and then on their turn, if you have like let's say Graph Dante under it, you can like get Seer, bring back to Dante after you clear the board, and then you have like a follow up immediately, like it's or get Scarm. It's just a lot of good stuff. Yeah, just like win condition wise. And then I play the F-Zero package. To be honest, this is probably cuttable. This might be more efficient if it was like Appaloosa and like something else. I don't know what the something else is or what it could be, but Appaloosa and something else I think could fit these as a better position just because there's times where you can like out a Drytron board, but then their graveyard's just loaded and you need to be able to make like a 3 negate Appaloosa to like keep them down. That's just my opinion. I think that's the best way to do it, so I might cut these for an Appaloosa. I don't know yet. But there is times where these have like randomly come up in very specific situations, but I just don't think they're that worth it. It's also technically is not a win condition because he's a boss monster as well for Dante, but that's beside the point. For links, we obviously play the Cherubini. We play one Nightmare Phoenix, one IP Masquerena, one Nightmare Unicorn, and one Access Code Talker. This is your other win condition. This is like the way the deck plays essentially is turn one, you go first, you end on a Beatrice with a Dante under it, and an IP, and you search with a Tour Guide with some traps behind it on your opponent's turn. When they try playing, you Farfa something, you Unicorn something, and then usually they pass. And then back on your turn, you summon Tour Guide, you can go Cherubini, and then you can set up for or you don't have to even go Cherubini. Sometimes you can just go Tour Guide for like Barbar, Tour Guide for Graph, Tour Guide for Seer if you have Dante in the graveyard because you made the Beatrice. Like, and then you just go for an Access Code Talker kill, and that Barbar 900 makes the over 8,000 damage, and that's also why I don't play Upstart Goblin because that 900 damage is very relevant, and it comes up a lot more than you would think. Like when I first built this deck, I wasn't even playing Barbar, and then it was mandatory to play because it was the only way you could do over 8,000 damage in one turn. So just keep that in mind when you play the deck. It's very, very important. But yeah, that's the extra deck. And then for the main deck, I decided to play 3 copies of Dark Ruler. I do not own Droplet. These would be droplets. I would also consider playing Droplet in the main deck because it obviously synergizes very well with Burning Abyss. Being able to send anything that activates in the grave is just insane. So, I mean, if I had it, I would play it, but I do not own droplets, and I am not buying droplets right now with a reprint announced again. So, I ain't rich. 3 copies of Twin Twister. I like this card as Twin Twister, specifically as a quick play spell. This beats out Prank Kids and Shadal Schism. You can activate this in draw phase, crack the back rows, pitch a card, and that card can be relevant. So, I like these 2. And then I play 3 copies of Santa Claus. Yeah, Santa Claus. This card, I never thought I'd actually see the day where I play this card in an actual competitive deck. But here we are. Here is the competitive build where you actually have to play Santa Claus. So these are the outs to Herald of Perfection because you need to be able to out that card, obviously, against Drytron. So the reason you play Santa Claus and not any Kaiju is because Santa Claus is the only Kaiju-esque monster that you can still A, normal summon, and B, special summon in defense mode. So you can give it to them in defense mode. You can summon Dante with 2 materials under it and not have to detach, crash it into the Santa Claus, and then go downer it in the Zeus, clear the board with the Zeus, and then you still have 2 materials under the Zeus for their turn when they try to reestablish, and hopefully you have something else like back row or anything like that to solidify that they can't play again. But it's just the best for this deck for breaking boards. It comes up a lot. It's very relevant, and I would not change this for anything else. In my opinion, for a Kaiju S monster, this is the best one by far for this deck. I also play 3 Judgment. We go first. We put in Judgment. It's that simple. I also play 3 Heavy Storm Duster. We play a back row deck. We put these in. You can also put this in against some like other niche matchups. Tri Brigade, I like playing this in. If you can end phase hit the Revolt, that's nice. You can also play Ghost Spell. That's very good against Tri Brigade. I'm only mentioning Tri Brigade so much because that is definitely one of the harder matchups. Ironically, I beat both my Tri Brigade matchups that I played in the last tournament. But nevertheless, obviously, it comes up where you need that extra card to stop them. But yeah, that's it for the side deck. And yeah, that's everything for the deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed the deck. I hope you try it out because really, I think this deck is way more underestimated than it should be. I think this deck can do a lot more. I don't even think I have the best build. I don't have all the cards that I would like to be playing. Like I said, like Droplets, maybe Lightning Storms, some other cards. I'm just lazy, don't feel like getting them right now. But yeah, I hope you guys liked it. And I'll be catching you guys on a stream, hopefully soon. And yeah, I will talk to you guys later. See you in the next one. Bye.